So today the wireless communication class, okay. So in wireless communication, whole 5 units. The first unit is cellular architecture, okay. So here we need to study what is communication and what are the evaluation of mobile communication. That means it's a start from first generation to now it is going on fifth generation, okay. So 0, first, second, third and fourth and 5. That means 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G and the now 5G. Okay, ma. Okay. So this is the first unit, cellular architecture in first unit. So first start with the communication. So already you know what is communication. Okay. So communication is a common unit. Communication means we transfer the information from one place to another place, or we exchange the information from one member to another, okay, or one place to another. So the communication is simply transferring information from one place to another place, or exchanging information by speaking or writing or anything. So, temperature or voltage, any information sent from one medium to another medium, okay, or sending or receiving information such as a telephone lines and computer through computers, okay. So these are the definitions. Very many definitions are available in communication, but in communication we have three types of communication, okay. The first one, it is a short range communication. The second one is a medium range communication. The third one is a long range communication, okay. Commonly it is communication, but we again it is classified into three types, okay. So in short range communication, for example, in your mobile phone you are using a Bluetooth technique. So Bluetooth is a range. So short range, medium range and long range are divided by it's a range. Only it's a range, okay, communication range. So in short range communication, example is a Bluetooth technique. So its range is only 10 meters, okay. In medium range it is up to 30 meters, okay. Then in long range it is more, okay, 30 miles. So the above 100 meters we told that technique is long range communication, okay. So first, now you know what is communication. It is a simply transferring information from one place to another place, okay. So in short range, in the transferring message from sender to receiver in an understandable manner. So this is another one definition for communication process. So we can easily communicate from one place to another place, but the important thing is the transmitting information is in an understandable manner. So the receiver should understand the information. So the sender send the information to the receiver, but the receiver receive this information and he should understood, okay. So this is the important thing in communication process, okay. Then here we are mainly classified into it is a short range, medium range and long range, but here divided into two, depends upon the channel. That means it's a wired and wireless, okay. So again we divided the communication into two types, okay, for depending upon the communicating channel, okay. That means wired channel and wireless channels, okay. Wired, you know, wired network means any cable, optical cable or coaxial cable or any cable. So the information is sent over a cable network, cable or wired network, okay. That is called wired communication. In wireless means the information is sent over or through air, okay. Air means air is a medium or channel, okay. So this is wireless communication. So the first picture denotes it is a wired network, the cable connected with the router and computer and CPU, but here it is a wireless modem, okay. So this is the wireless communication. So what is the difference between wired and wireless communication. So wired, you know, any physical medium, that means a cable, wire connecting with the center and receiver. So that is wired. So the cable can be copper wire or twisted pair cable or optical fiber cable. Okay. In wired network, it is used to carry different form of electrical signals. You know, for example, pressure, current, voltage, or anything. Different form of electrical signals from one end to another. That means one place to another or sender to receiver. Okay. For example, local area network. LAN network is a wired network. Okay. In wireless means, wireless is the term refers to a medium made for electromagnetic waves. Okay, other that is means already I told in the last class, in optical communication class, EM wave. Okay, so the EM wave carries the information. Okay, or infrared waves. Okay, EM wave, electromagnetic wave, or infrared waves. So this is the information. So this EM wave carries the information to receiver. Okay. Then all wireless devices have antenna or sensor, anything. Okay. But it include cellular mobile phones and wireless sensors, TV remote, satellite, and laptop with wireless cord, etc. Okay. So wireless devices have antenna and sensor. It is must. So transmitting antenna and receiving antenna is a must one. Normally, the cellular phone, sensors, TV remote, satellite receiver, laptop with wireless cord, etc. These are wireless. Wireless network does not use wire. Okay, so wireless network does not use wires means a cable. Okay, in for data or voice communication. Okay, for example, Zigbee and Bluetooth infrared communication. Then what is wireless communication? So our topic is wireless communication only. Okay. So wireless communication is the transfer for information over a distance. It is a long distance, medium distance, or short distance. Does not the matter, but it is a wireless medium. Okay, without the use of electrical conductors or wires or cables. Okay, so transferring the information from one place or center to receiver through a air medium, or it is a wireless. That means without using any electrical conductors or any wires or any cables. Okay, without using a physical medium, that means electrical conductors. Okay, so that communication is called wireless communication. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So I already told the EM waves are infrared waves. Okay, EM waves carries your information, that is electrical signal or mechanical signal or anything, a signal. That means information, speech signal or anything. It carries the information then to the receiver. Okay, so this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So here this is the infrared waves. First one is the cosmic rays, gamma rays, x-rays, then UV rays, then infra IR rays. Okay, so this is the 10 power 6 nanometer speed. Okay, then microwaves, it is high frequency waves. Microwaves means very high frequency waves, then radio waves, then broadcast band. Okay, so UV, then it is a visible light. Okay, so this is the range of the these rays. So the cosmic rays and gamma rays are short waves. Okay, so after that this radio wave and broadcast band, so here IR rays, these are long wavelength. Okay, so these are the short wavelength. Here the wavelength is very long. Okay, so in ultraviolet rays, UV rays, then so these light, it shows the visible light. So here up to 400 nanometer to then 700 nanometers. Okay, 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer, it is a visible light. Okay, then IR rays. So this is the spectrum already designed. Then what are the communication systems available today? So today, you know, in real time we are using television and radio broadcasting. So these are the wireless communication technique, and satellite communication. Okay, then radar, then mobile telephone system, cellular communication, then global positioning system, that is as GPS you already used in your mobile, then infrared communication, then WLAN, that is Wi-Fi, then Bluetooth. Okay, so these are the wireless communication. So WLAN means it's a wireless local area network. Okay, suppose it is connected means it's a wired LAN. Okay, the input is connected with the output through any cable or any electrical device or any physical medium, then it is called wired. So this one is wireless LAN, okay, local area network. So through it is connected through a Wi-Fi network. It's a router. So wireless technique. Okay. Then Bluetooth. So these are the available technique nowadays in wireless communication. Okay. So what are the features of wireless communication? So we are nowadays using wireless, mostly using wireless communication in long range communication. For example, long range communication, mostly we are using wireless only. Okay. So here the transmitter distance can be anywhere between a few meters. Okay. The distance from the anywhere. It is a 10 meter or 12 meter or 30 meter anywhere. For example, television remote control, and thousands of kilometers. Okay, so television remote control means it's a very few. Short meter means it's a short range communication. In TV and remote it is a short range communication. You are using Bluetooth technique now, that is a short range communication, but it's a thousands of kilometer means, for example, radio communication. So radio communication is a long range communication. Okay, so wireless communication can be used for telephony, wireless access to the internet, wireless home networking. So nowadays is a communication is a very important thing. Same thing in wireless is very important. We are using, okay, because in all in the world, all over the world, we are using internet. So without internet, it is very poor. Okay, nowadays we are using internet in many of the users. Okay, use this internet connection, because you need internet connection. You have a mobile phone, you have an internet connection, you are using in your home. Okay, so this is the need for today. Okay, so wireless communication can be used for cellular telephony, wireless access to the internet, and wireless home networking. Okay, so other examples, for example, radio wireless technology, that is include GPS. Okay, global positioning system unit, then door openers, wireless computer mouse, then keyboard, headset, headphone, radio receiver, satellite television broadcast. In all the systems, okay, we are using wireless communication. Okay, so this is our important real-time applications we are using in our home. Okay, so what are the advantages of wireless communications? The more advantages, but here we only discuss one or two advantages. Okay, so wireless communication involves transfer of information without any physical connection between two or more points. Okay, so because of this absence of physical infrastructure, wireless communication has certain advantages, because no physical connection between the sender and receiver. So idhanala what are the advantages? Okay, the first one, cost effective. You know, in wired communication you must connect with the cable from the sender to receiver, or one place to another place. It is short range or medium range or a long range. In wired communication you need a cable wire. So the cable wire also costly. Then another one thing is maintaining the cable. The maintenance charge also very cost. So in wireless, so nothing we need. Okay, in wireless means no physical medium or no cable in between the sender and receiver. So it is very cost effective. Okay, so the cost effectiveness means wired communication entails the use of connection of wires. So in wireless network, communication does not require the physical infrastructure or maintenance. So maintenance also. So the cost is obviously reduced. For example, any company providing wireless communication services does not incur a lot of cost, and as a result, it is able to charge low cost with regard to its customer fees. So, entirely the cost will be reduced without using the cable connection. Okay. So the next advantage is flexibility. You know, flexibility of the wireless mouse or wireless mobile techniques and TV and remote. All these things are in wireless. You are using wireless. It is very flexible for the customers. Okay. So the wireless communication enables the people to communicate regardless of their location. It is not necessary to be an office or some telephone booth in order to pass and receive the information. Okay. So in wireless communication, we don't need the location. இங்க இருந்து தான் நான் என்னால ரிசீவ் பண்ண முடியும், இங்க இருந்து தான் என்னால டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ண முடியும். We don't need. Okay. So anywhere in any time we can transmit the information and we can receive the information. So this is the flexible for the users. Okay. In miners in the outback can rely on satellite phones to call their loved ones. So and thus help to improve the general welfare by keeping them in touch with the people who mean the most to them. So these you are aware, because in old days we can use only the communication between the relatives or anybody's friends. Now we are using only a letter. Okay, post. But nowadays we are using, all are using mobile phones and all the things, so laptop and all the things. Okay, so it is easy or keep on touch with your relatives and friends. So the wireless communication used for these things. Okay, so this is the flexibility of our users. Okay, then the next one is convenience. So this is the flexibility, but whatever the convenience. So the wireless communication devices like mobile phones are quite simple. Okay. So we can handle in our hand. Okay. It's a very simple one in handling. So like some mobile phone are very quite simple and therefore allow anyone to use them wherever they may be. Okay. So there is no need to connect anything in order to receive or pass information. Okay, we can simply handle the mobile phone in anywhere and anytime. We can receive the information and transmit the information to anybody. Okay, so this is the simple thing. Okay, for example, wireless communication services can also be seen in internet technologies such as Wi-Fi. It is wireless fidelity. Wi-Fi means wireless fidelity with no network cables hampering movement. We can now connect with almost anyone, anywhere, anytime. So this is the technique. Anyone, anywhere, and anytime we can send the information or transmit the information or receiving the information. Okay. The communication is a very simple manner using wireless. Okay. So the next one, the generation of. So here only we can going to our topic. So first, what is communication? What are the types of communications are available? We studied. Then the next one, what is the features of communication? Then what are the advantages of communication? Then the next topic is what is the generation of mobile technology. Generation means evaluation of mobile communication. So I already told what are the evaluation, what are the generations are available now. So first one, the first generation is started with the 1980s. Okay. The second generation, first generation means 1G. Okay. And the 2G, it is started with 1991. The third generation 3G started with 2000. Okay, onwards. In 4G, fourth generation 2007 onwards. The fifth generation nowadays, ipoda start ஆயிட்டு 2020. Okay, in foreign countries it is available, but in India 5G இப்பதான் வந்திருக்கு. Okay. So in all generation, what is the speed of communication? Okay, so it start with 1G, you know, first generation computer. So this is the evaluation of mobile communication. So the speed is 2.4 kilobits per second. So we start with the communication, the first generation, it is 2 kilobits per second. That means per second now, 1 second, 1 second we can receive 2.4 kilobits. Okay, 2.4 kilobits messages. So ஒரு செகண்ட்ல நம்ம இவ்ளோ மெசேஜ் வந்து ரிசீவ் பண்ணலாம், இவ்ளோ பிட்ஸ் வந்து ரிசீவ் பண்ணலாம். So that is the information. Okay, in 2G the speed is 14.4 kilobits per second. So கொஞ்சம் increase ஆயிருக்கு in 2G. So in each and every generation we can increase the speed, or we can improve the modulation technique, or we can improve the communication technique. So ஒரு ஜெனரேஷனுக்கு உள்ள கேப் பாத்தீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் improvement. Okay, just improve the information. This means the data rate or throughput. So 1G ல 2.4 kilobits per second தான், ஒரு செகண்டுக்கு இவ்வளவு தான் information receive பண்றோம். But in 2G ல கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தி, 14.4 kilobits per second. Okay, in the next generation, in between 2G and 3G, it is a 2.5G. Okay, in 2.5G it is 384 kilobits per second. So இதை விட கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தியாவே improve பண்ணிட்டோம். Okay, so 384 kilobits per second means per second we can receive 384 kilobits. That means the information. Okay, in 3G 14.4 megabits. So kilo la irundhu mega ku poitom. So it is a 10 power 6. Okay, then it is the next generation in 3G and 4G in between LTE. So that means long term evaluation ungala mobile இதுலயே வரும், LTE edge இதெல்லாம் வரும் சைடுல. Okay, so in LTE the speed is 115 megabits per second. Okay, then the final one 4G. So the 4G the data rate is 100 to 300 megabits per second. Okay, minimum 100 megabits per second, maximum 300 megabits per second. Nowadays we are using this 4G communication only. Okay, so in 4G communication we are using the modulation technique is this OFDM or MCCDMA. So in syllabus la sonna last unit la OFDM is a very important topic. So this is the modulation technique used in mobile communication. Okay, so nowadays நம்ம mobile phone நம்மளோட 4G யூஸ் பண்றோம் இல்லையா, அதுல என்ன டெக்னிக் யூஸ் பண்றோம்னா OFDM or MCCDMA தான் யூஸ் பண்றோம். OFDM means it is a modulation technique, orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Okay, in MCCDMA means it is a multi-carrier co-division multiple access technique. So these two both techniques are multiple access technique. Okay, then what is multiple access, what are the advantages, we can study later. Okay, so for these techniques. Okay, then the next one, the upcoming one is 5G. Okay, 5G is 5G communication, it is not megabits per second. So we studied later for this 5G communication, what is the rate, what is the speed, and all the things. Okay, so these are the generation of mobile communication up to 1G to 5G. Okay,
ma'am,
what ma?
ma'am, சௌந்தர்யா கிளாஸ்க்கு வரதுக்கு வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க மேம். கொஞ்சம்
அதான் உங்களோட அப்ளிகேஷன் ஐடி யூஸ் பண்ணா நான் பண்ணவே தேவையில்லைம்மா, ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா நீங்க உள்ள அதுதான்மா, உங்க அபிஷியல் மெயில் ஐடினா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா உள்ள வருது. ஆமா வருது, உங்களோட பிரைவேட் மெயில் ஐடி யூஸ் பண்ணா நான் அட்மிட் கொடுத்தாதான் புரியுதா? ஓகேமா, சோ இப்ப வரேன்னா சொல்லு, நான் அட்மிட்
அவர் 10 o'clock இருந்து
அதுதான்மா அந்த விண்டோ ஓபன் பண்ணி சோ நான் கிளாஸ் எடுக்கிறதுல அது கவனிக்க முடியாது. அதனால நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 10 minutes டைம் தந்துறேன். ஓகே
ஓகே மேம், ஓகே.
என்னம்மா ஓகே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா? வரலையே சவுண்ட். Okay, so the first generation 1G. So 1G, now I already told, now only discuss the 4G modulation technique. Okay, so 4G la OFDM or MCCDMA technique use பண்றோம். But in 1G, the first technique, first generation, we are using frequency division multiple access, that is FDMA. Frequency division multiple access means the whole entire spectrum is divided into a frequency. Okay, for example, for 30 megahertz is divided by 8 na, so we first split the frequency, then allocate each frequency to one user. So this is the frequency division multiple access. Okay, entire spectrum, that means spectrum in entire bandwidth. So for example 100 megahertz இருக்குன்னா என்ன பண்ணிடுவோம், 10 users இருக்குன்னா divided by 10. ஓகேவா? so each frequency இப்ப divided by 10 போட்டா உங்களுக்கு என்ன வந்துரும், 100ல 10 வரும் இல்லையா, 10 megahertz. so each 10 megahertz, for exampleக்கு தான் சொல்றேன். so each 10 megahertz is allocated to each user. ஒரு 10 user இருக்காங்கன்னா first frequency ல first user, the second 10 வந்து second user, the last one the last user, இந்த மாதிரி பிரிச்சிருவோம். so this is the frequency division multiple access technique. Okay, so 1G refers to first generation of wireless telephony technique and mobile communication, which was first introduced in the 1980s. It is completed 1990 ல complete ஆயிடுச்சு. Okay, you already know the speed வந்து 2.4 kilobits per second. So it allows voice calls in one country and it use analog signal, not a digital signal. Okay, 1G first generation na enna, only analog transmission தான் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு, digital இல்ல. Analog, you know what is the difference between analog and digital means? Analog signal means it is a continuous time signal. Okay, but in a digital means it is, in digital means we are using binary signals. Digital, you studied in digital communication, binary numbers 1 or 0. First nowadays we are transferring that analog communication is first transferred to digital communication. Okay, analog convert பண்ணிடுறோம் first, என்ன analog information ஆலும் converted into digital, after that only we communicate to receiver. so nowadays mostly we are using digital communication, but in 1G, before that in 1980s ல first வந்தது analog தான், analog communication தான் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்திருக்காங்க. Okay, so AMPS ARMS was first launched in USA in 1G mobile phone system. So this is the example of 1G. Okay, in 2G, in 1G la frequency division multiple access techniques used. In 2G means the second generation. Here the modulation technique is time division multiple access. Okay, time division multiple access. So TDMA means here in FDMA we divided into frequencies. The whole spectrum bandwidth is divided into number of frequencies, but here whole the time duration is divided into number of time slots. Okay, அங்க frequency divide பண்ணிட்டு then allocate to each user, but here each time slot is allocated to each user. Okay, the time slot, for example total 100 microseconds இருக்குன்னா divided by 10 na 10 microseconds. so this time slot is used for first user, the second time slot is allocated to second user, the last one is allocated to the last user. so here it is divided into time slot, then each time slot is allocated to one user. so they use at that time slot, they will communicate to each other, and the time slot use பண்ணி அவங்க communicate பண்ணிப்பாங்க. so this is the difference between the TDMA and FDMA. Okay, So TDMA means time division multiple access technique. It's a second generation technique. Okay, for example, global system for mobile. Okay, GSM. Okay, GSM and GPS, you know nowadays. So GSM technology is a 2G. 2G, another one example, you know, all are known. I think previous days we are using a Reliance mobile phone. Okay, Reliance, Nokia. Okay, so this type of button phones. Okay, these phones are okay. So the example is Reliance phones and Nokia phones. Okay. The 2G network use digital signal. 1G only use analog signals. 2G, the second generation network, use the digital signals. So the speed is 64 kilobits per seconds. So the 2G having narrow bandwidth. You know, narrow bandwidth means it's highly peak. Wider bandwidth na wider. Okay. So narrow bandwidth, it is divided into two parts. One, time division multiple access allow the division of signal into time slots. So TDMA like a frequency signal. Okay. In code division, so idliye time division liye renda split pandrom, time division multiple access, then code division multiple access. So code division multiple access means each user or each user ku or code allocate pandrom, unique code. Okay va? First time slot ah pirichirom, then each user oda information signal oda enna pandrom or special code vandu multiply பண்ணிடும். That is code division multiple access. So the CDMA allocate each user to a special code to communicate. Okay, ஏன் ஒரு கோட் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா யூஸ் பண்றோம் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா it is for secured and it is lossless. So ஒரு கோட் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும், this can separate. First we can divide the signal, then each signal is multiplied with one special code, then it is transferred to the receiver. The receiver receive the information, then again decode the signal. Okay, using the decoding technique, decode the signal, then easily get the original information. So this is the code division multiple access technique. So what are the features in 2G means? So it enabled the services such as text. அப்பதான் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம், text பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம், messages, MMS, SMS எல்லாம் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம். Picture messages and MMS messages in 2G ல தான் start பண்ணோம். Drawbacks ன்னு பார்த்தோம்னா 2G require strong digital signals to help mobile phones work. If there is no network coverage, if any specific area, digital signals won't work or would be. அது உங்களுக்கே தெரியும். In Reliance ஓ நோக்கியோவோ phone நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தப்ப suppose the network இப்பவுமே இருக்கு ப்ராப்ளம், பட் previous days வந்து ரொம்ப more it is. லைட்டா உங்களுக்கு சிக்னல் வீக் ஆனாலே உங்களுக்கு வந்து இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கட் ஆயிடும். டவுன்லோட் எனிதிங் மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்றது எல்லாமே ஃபெயில் ஆயிடும். So in 2G require it is a strong digital signal to help mobile phones work. No network coverage na என்ன ஆகும், it's the signal should weak. So these systems are unable to handle complex data. Complex data na message na கூட ஈஸியா இதுவாயிடும். Complex data means video. இப்ப வீடியோ சென்ட் பண்ணனும்னா அது வந்து not able to send in 2G communication. So this is the two disadvantages of second generation, okay, 2G communication. So 2.5G. So the next generation in between 3G and 2G, it is a 2.5G communication. It's a modulation technique is code division multiple technique. So அதனால தான் நம்ம 2G லே பார்த்துட்டோம். 2G வந்து TDMA, in between 2G and 3G ல CDMA யூஸ் பண்றோம். CDMA means a multiple access technique for modulation technique, code division multiple access. Already சொல்லிட்டோம், the CDMA allocate each user to a specific code or a unique code. Okay, so this technology between 2G and 3G, it sometimes when the 2G cellular technology combined with the general packet radio service, so that means GPRS. Okay, It is combined with general packet radio service, that is GPRS. So what are the features அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, it is phone call பண்ணலாம், நார்மலா அது 2G லயும் பண்ணலாம், and send and receive email messages and web browsing. கேமரா யூஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம். ஸோ 2.5ல தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைமா கேமரான்றது வர ஆரம்பிச்சது. அது வரைக்கும் கேமரா கிடையாது போன்ல. ஓகே, ஸோ 2Gல வந்து ஒன்லி சென்ட் மெசேஜஸ், அதுவும் வந்து சிக்னல் வீக்கா இருந்ததுன்னா நம்மளால மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஓகே, இன் 2.5Gல என்ன பண்றோம், ஈஸியா மெசேஜ் சென்ட் அண்ட் ரிசீவ் த மெசேஜஸ், அண்ட் அடிஷனலி வி ஆர் யூசிங் எ கேமரா ஃபோன். ஓகே, கேமரா யூஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம். ஸோ த ஸ்பீட் இஸ் 64 to 144 kilobits per second. ஓகே, ஸோ த டவுன்லோடிங் டைம் வந்து ஒரு 3 minutesல வந்து நமக்கு சாங்ஸ் எல்லாம் டவுன்லோட் ஆயிரும். ஸோ இன் 2.5Gல. ஓகே, ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் த அட்வான்டேஜஸ் ஆஃப் 2.5G CDMA technique. So the next generation is our 3G technique. Okay, 3G. So in 3G, wideband code division multiple access. So 3G CDMA 2.5Gல CDMA யூஸ் பண்ணோம், பட் in 3Gல wideband CDMA, that is wideband code division multiple access. Wide bandwidth na enna, you know, narrow bandwidth and wide bandwidth. So peak frequency வந்து high peak rateல இருந்தனா, that is narrow band னு சொல்லுவோம். wide band னா the bandwidth வந்து மோரா இருக்கும், இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆயிருக்கும், that is wide band CDMA. okay, so மெயினா இங்க வந்து what is advantage of this using wide band CDMA னா, for example 100 users இருக்கும் for transmitting the information. நமக்கு 100 users வந்து want to transmit the information to any destination, okay, or any other place. But here the 100 users, they will spend or they will use the same bandwidth to communicate to the destination. ஒரே bandwidth யூஸ் பண்ணி இந்த 100 usersம் transmit பண்ணலாம் information. ஓகேவா, they will share the bandwidth. So these 100 users share the same bandwidth to communicate or to transfer the information. ஓகேவா, இந்த சேம் பேண்ட்விட்தை யூஸ் பண்ணி 100 200 300 அவங்க வந்து சேம் டைம்ல அதை ஷேர் பண்ணி யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ ஒரே இதை. பட் இன் 2G அண்ட் 1Gல நம்ம அந்த மாதிரி யூஸ் பண்ண முடியாது. அவங்களுக்கு தனி ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி, தனி டைம் ஸ்லாட். ஸோ இந்த டைம் ஸ்லாட்ல தான் அவங்க டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ண முடியும், இந்த ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி ஸ்லாட்ல தான் இவங்க டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ண முடியும். But in 3G, the code division multiple access allow multiple users can share the same bandwidth. So this is the important, or this is the feature of 3G communication. So அப்ப என்ன ஆகும், நமக்கு bandwidth usage வந்து ரெடியூஸ் ஆகும். ஸோ ஒரு 10 யூசர் சேம் பேண்ட்வித் சேம் ஃப்ரீக்வன்சியை யூஸ் பண்ணி சென்ட் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும், ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கலி we can reduce the bandwidth. ஸோ ஏன் பேண்ட்வித்தை பத்தி பேசுறோம்னா, பேண்ட்வித் யூட்டிலைசேஷன் இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். பிகாஸ் ஹோல் இப்ப நேஷனுக்குமே இப்ப இந்தியாவுக்குன்னு ஒரு இவ்வளவுதான் பேண்ட்வித் அலோகேட் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. அந்த இந்தியால இவ்வளவு பேண்ட்வித் ஃபார் திஸ் ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி ஸ்பெக்ட்ரம் வந்து மிலிட்ரிக்கு, இது வந்து நார்மல் அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ்க்கு, இது வந்து கமர்ஷியல் யூஸ்க்குன்னு நம்ம அந்த பேண்ட்வித்தையே ஸ்பிளிட் அப் பண்ணிருப்போம். ஓகேவா, சோ அப்படி இருக்கும்போது பேண்ட்வித் வந்து வெரி எஃபிஷியன்ட், நமக்கு கிடைக்கிறதே ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். அப்படி இருக்கும்போது இருக்கிற பேண்ட்வித்த, அவைலபிள் பேண்ட்வித்த we can share and use na, it is more efficient. So this is applied in 3G communication. So this is the very very important one. So 3G actually stands for third generation. Okay, it is a multiple access technique. So it is commercially available for connecting mobile phones. So the bandwidth up to 5 megahertz. So 5 megahertz வந்து 3G க்கு இருக்கு. Okay, 3G communication use 5 megahertz. So this technology to third generation which was introduced in 2000ல இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிருக்கு. Okay, so the data transmission speed வந்து increased from 144 kilobits per second to 2 megabits per second. So 144ல இருந்து 2, இது வந்து இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் enormous. So 140 kilobitsல இருந்து megabitsக்கு increase ஆயிடுச்சு the transmission speed. So speed means என்ன, அதனால data rate, output, throughput increase ஆகுது, நம்ம received information increase ஆகுது. So this is the improvement of from 2G to 3G. Okay, Then for example, இப்பதான் நம்ம 3Gல தான் we can use a smartphone. Smartphone என்ன? கேமரா யூஸ் பண்ணலாம், இன்டர்நெட் யூஸ் பண்றோம், வீடியோ டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணலாம், ஆடியோ டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணலாம், மெசேஜ் டிரான்ஸ்மிட் பண்ணலாம், ஃபைல் டவுன்லோட் பண்ணலாம், எல்லாமே யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். So these operations include in the smartphones. So 3G communication வந்த பிறகுதான் we can use a smartphone. Smartphone ஒன்னு யூஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம். Okay. So typically called smartphone. இது வந்து increase the bandwidth as well as a data transfer rate. That means a data rate or throughput. Okay. To accommodate the web-based applications and audio and video files. So இப்பதான் நம்ம audio, picture, video இதெல்லாம் handle பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம். After 3G communications. Okay. So next one is a 4G. 4G nowadays we are using. இப்ப யூஸ் பண்றது நம்ம mostly ஜியோ வந்து 4G தான். 4G communication தான் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். So the next generation wireless technology that promises high data rates and expanded multimedia services. Multimedia communication. Okay, multicast. So broadcast technique. So it is capable of speed of 100 megabits for the megabits per second to 1 gigabits per second. So இப்போ வந்து 3G வந்து megabits per secondல சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தோம். இப்போ 4G வந்து gigabits per secondக்கு போயிடுச்சு. மெகால இருந்து gigabits per secondக்கு போயிடுச்சு. So it is the improvement of 4G communication. So high QAS, quality of service, and high security. 4Gல securityயும் it is very very more. ஏன் சொல்றோம்? Because of the modulation technique. So 4Gல already நம்ம என்ன சொன்னேன்? 4Gல என்ன modulation technique யூஸ் பண்றோம்னு சொன்னேன்? 4Gல OFDM and MCCDMA technique யூஸ் பண்றோம்னு சொன்னேன். Okay. So OFDM means here it is a both combined technique of frequency division multiplexing and code division multiplexing. CDMA சொன்னோம் இல்லையா? In 2Gல, sorry 3Gல. So CDMAவும் FDMAயும் combined technique தான் OFDM technique. Okay. So for FDMA என்ன பண்றோம்? We can divide the frequency, entire spectrum into frequency slots. Then each frequency slot is given to each user. That is a frequency division multiplexing. Okay. But in code division multiplexing என்ன சொன்னேன்? In each frequency of user க்கு ஒரு code வந்து allocate specific code. So frequency divide பண்ணிரோம். Then again allocate one unique code to each user. ஓகேவா? சோ அப்ப அவங்க இன்ஃபர்மேஷனோட ஒரு கோட் மல்டிப்ளை ஆகி சென்ட் பண்றோம். சோ இட் இஸ் மோர் செக்யூரிட்டி ஆல்சோ. ஓகேவா? தென் இது ரெண்டுமே சேர்ந்த டெக்னிக் தான் OFDM. ஓகேவா? frequency slot-ஆவும் divide பண்ணிரோம். Then it is multiplied with a specific unique code. For example, it's a Walsh-Hadamard code or pseudo random code. So these are the code you already studied in information theory and coding. So அந்த digital communicationலயும் படிச்சிருப்போம். ஓகேவா? So this code is multiplied with each user information. Then it is transmitted to the receiver. So this is the important thing in the 4G. So then another technique is it is a multi-carrier code division multiplexes. Okay. OFDM சொல்லிட்டேன். But OFDM is it is each and every one ஒரு orthogonal நால என்ன அர்த்தம்? It is a 90-degree phase shift. ஒரு சிக்னலுக்கும் phase shift இருக்கும். Orthogonally phase shift. So அப்ப என்ன ஆகும்? Interference வந்து reduce ஆகும். Interfere ஆகுறது ரொம்ப reduce பண்ணிடலாம். But the another technique என்ன பார்த்தோம்? Multi-carrier code division multiple access. So code division multiple access னா உனக்கு என்னன்னு தெரியும். So each user is allocated to one specific code. ஒரு கோடால மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணி அனுப்புறோம். But here carrier. So in code division multiple accessல the same carrier is used for all users. புரியுதா? In code division multiple access same carrier தான் யூஸ் பண்றோம், same bandwidth யூஸ் பண்ணி ஷேர் பண்றோம். But in multi carrierனா each signalக்கு one carrier. Okay. So each frequency slotக்கு one carrier or each user use one carrier signal. Okay va? So it's more advantage from the OFDM. Okay va? So both techniques are used nowadays used in 4G communication. So you know the high securityக்காக தான் சொன்னேன். So code division multiple access, multi carrier code division multiple access யூஸ் பண்ணாலே நமக்கு வந்து it is more security. Okay, நீங்க you can relate the subject. ஏன்னா நீங்க கம்ப்யூட்டர் நெட்வொர்க்ஸ் படிக்கிறீங்க, then optical communication and wireless communication, they are interrelated. ஓகேவா, எல்லாமே கம்யூனிகேஷன் தான், இட் இஸ் இன்டர் ரிலேட்டட், கம்பைன் பண்ணி தான் படிக்க போறீங்க. ஓகேவா, ஒரு சப்ஜெக்ட் ஈஸியா படிச்சிட்டாலே தென் அனதர் சப்ஜெக்ட் வந்து வெரி வெரி ஈஸி. ஓகே, மூணு சப்ஜெக்ட்டுமே ரொம்ப ஈஸி, எல்லாமே இன்டர் ரிலேட்டட் சப்ஜெக்ட். ஓகே, the features include more security, high speed, high capacity and low cost per bit. அது உங்களுக்கே தெரியும். இப்ப லோ காஸ்ட்லயே நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிரோம், மொபைல் போன் வாங்கிரோம், இன்டர்நெட் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், வீடியோ டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கலாம், ஓகே, மெசேஜ் சென்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம், மியூசிக் சென்ட் பண்ணலாம், பிக்சர் சென்ட் பண்ணலாம், எல்லாமே பண்ணிடுறோம் இன் a small smart phone. Okay, then இதுலயும் drawback இருக்கு. What are the drawbacks in 4G communication technique? What is the drawback? So drawback பார்த்தோம்னா battery usage is more. அது உங்களுக்கே தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். 4G யூஸ் பண்ணோம்னா ஒரு 1 hourல நமக்கு என்ன ஆகும், மொபைல் போன் பேட்டரி டவுன் அப்படின்னு காமிக்கும். ஏன்னா நம்ம இன்டர்நெட் ஆக்சஸ் பண்ணும், ப்ரௌஸ் பண்ணலாம், நெட் மெயில் அனுப்பிட்டு இருப்போம். ஸோ எல்லாமே அட் அ டைம்ல மல்டிபிள் சர்வீசஸ் வி கேன் டூ இல்லையா. ஸோ ஒரே டைம்ல நம்ம எல்லாம் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகும், த பேட்டரி வந்து ஈஸியா டவுன் ஆயிடும். ஓகேவா, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த ஒன் ஆஃப் த டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ் ஆஃப் 4G. ஓகே, தென் ஹார்ட் டு இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்றது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம். need complicated hardware. So we know only if software சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம், hardware பார்த்தோம்னா கொஞ்சம் complicated. Then expensive equipment required to implement next generation work. So these are the drawbacks of 4G communication. Okay, 4G, using 4G communication. So இந்த drawback ஓவர்கம் பண்றதுக்கு தான் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜெனரேஷன் 5G கம்யூனிகேஷன். ஸோ ஒரு ஜெனரேஷன்ல இப்போ 1G உள்ள டிராபேக் ஓவர்கம் பண்ணதான் 2G. இப்போ 2G இருக்கிறத 3G பண்றோம், 3G இருக்கிறது 4G. 4G என்ன டிராபேக் ஆர் எனி டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ்னா ஓவர்கம் திஸ் இன்டு 5G. ஓகேவா, இதை ஓவர்கம் பண்ணி தான் 5G ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்றோம். So 5G can significantly faster than 4G. Obviously, we know each generation ku இடையில is a speed வந்து increase ஆகுது. So 5G can be significantly faster than 4G, delivering up to 20 gigabits per second. Okay, 20 ஒரு செகண்டுக்கு 20 gigabits வந்து நம்ம ரிசீவ் பண்ணலாம். So 20 gigabits per second. So peak data rate. And 100 megabits per second average data rate. Average நமக்கு வந்து 100 megabits obviously கிடைச்சிட்டே இருக்கும். பாத்தீங்கன்னா it is at 20 gigabits per second. So this is the main advantage of 5G. So 4G விட 5G இன்னும் ஸ்பீட் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். ஸ்பீடா நம்ம பண்ணலாம். சென்ட் பண்றதுக்குள்ள அங்க மெசேஜ் போயிருக்கும், சென்ட் பண்றதுக்குள்ள வீடியோ சென்ட் ஆயிடும். So it is very very speed communication. So high speed and high capacity as well as. So 5G technology providing large broadcasting data in Gbps, that's gigabits per second, multimedia newspapers, watch TV programs with a clarity to their HD quality. Okay, then faster data transmission that are previous generation, then large phone memory, dialing speed, clarity in audio and video, and it support interactive multimedia, voice, streaming video, internet and other. Okay, so multimedia applications, voice recording, voice downloading, then video recording, video downloading, video sending and internet. All these things are, it is very very high speed and high capacity. So 5G is more effective than 4G and more attractive. Okay, so light communication, it is a more attractive than 4G communication. So these are the main things or main important advantages of this 5G communication. Okay, so these are the mobile evaluations. So it start with cordless phone, then 2G Nokia phone or Reliance in 2G, Then 3G, 3G ல camera, 2.5G ல இருந்து நம்ம camera யூஸ் பண்ணோம், camera phones. Then 4G mobile camera phones, smartphone, iPhone. In future, it is a 5G communication phone. So these are the evaluation of mobile communication techniques. Then the next one, so this is the end of the topic. Okay, types of services. What are the types of services available in wireless communication? Okay, so you know what are the types of services means WLAN, WPAN, WMAN. So these means the wireless personal area network, wireless local area network, wireless metropolitan area network. These are the types or means services available in wireless communication technique. Okay, that is Bluetooth is a first example of WPAN. You know Bluetooth communication. Okay, 1 minute. I will take the attendance, ma. So only 32 people. Okay. So here the example of wireless personal area network is a Bluetooth technique. So wireless personal area networks are system that connect two personal or short range devices. Okay. So personal area network naale short range communication. Adha mean panikonga. Short range la enna use pandrom? Bluetooth technology. Bluetooth technology oda range enna? It is only up to 10 meters. 10 meters. Okay, that means 30 feet coverage range, less than 30 feet. Okay, one. So short range devices that are located with very close. Okay, in home la mattum da use panna mudiyum. So generally coverage area less than 30 feet. The two technologies are predominant in this sector are first one is a Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is a two-way wireless communication system between devices very close to each. பக்கத்துல இருந்தா மட்டும்தான் நம்மளால Bluetooth கனெக்ட் பண்ண முடியும், இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ண முடியும். Okay, so it has provided to be very effective in reducing clutter of wires. Okay, இது நம்ம wireless தான், wire யூஸ் பண்ணல. So it can connect a mouse to the computer, headphone to an MP3 player. இதுக்கெல்லாம் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Or one phone to another phone. இல்லையா? So இதுக்கெல்லாம் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம் Bluetooth communication. Okay. Infrared wireless communication, you know this is a IRAs. Okay, small these systems generally used for very small distance da with TV remote control. So the infrared and Bluetooth ரெண்டுமே நம்ம எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றோம்னா WPAN wireless personal area network la யூஸ் பண்றோம். So another techniques பாத்தீங்கன்னா wireless metropolitan area network, WMAN and WWAN wide area network. Local area network உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் already. So இது வந்து என்னோட multiple networks in a metropolitan area, several smaller network existing within a metro are connected wirelessly rather than laying copper or fiber cable. Okay, for example WiMAX. Okay வா. So WiMAX நாலே உங்களுக்கு என்ன வரும்? It is a long range communication, not short range. It is a WiMAX means long range communication. Okay, so it's a broadband system. 4G la நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றோம். Then wireless wide area network na wide area network is a very large area, that means state or countries. Okay, sometimes using satellite system. So these network என்ன சொல்றோம்? Wide area network, satellite communication. For example satellite communication, country to country, state to state. So இந்த மாதிரி communication wireless wide area network. Okay, the last one is what are the requirements of these services? So these are the services available in wireless communication. You know wireless WLAN, WMAN and WWAN. So these are the services, but we use these services now. What are the requirement? என்ன requirement இருந்தா அந்த services நம்மளால யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா first one is data rate. It's a data rate தான் நான் சொன்னது. இப்போ 100 megabits per second per second க்கு 100 megabits வந்து நம்ம ரிசீவ் பண்ணலாம். So this is the data rate or throughput of the system. So data rate is a very important thing for any service. 2G or 4G எதுனாலும் இவ்வளோ data rate நமக்கு வேணும். Then the second one is range and number of users. Short range, medium range, long range. So எந்த ரேஞ்சுக்குள்ள நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றோம். Okay, it's a short range na. What are the number of users? ஒரு யூசரா, ரெண்டு யூசரா, இல்லைன்னா 10 users-ஆ? So users பொறுத்து we can we need the bandwidth and as well as the memory. ஓகேவா, இவ்வளோ யூசர் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றோம்னா அதுக்கு ஏத்தாப்புல நமக்கு bandwidth வேணும். ஓகேவா, so these things decide the service. Okay, so the data rate, range and number of users. Then mobility, மூவ்மெண்ட்ல இருக்கமா, இப்போ மூவிங்ல இருக்கமா, இப்போ ட்ரெயின்ல போயிட்டு இருக்கோம், நமக்கு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் சென்ட் பண்ணணும். So these the mobility decide the services. So mobility na appo enna avanum, kandipa namakku 4G irundha dhaan konjam easy ah irukum. So it will reduce the handoff and all the things. Then the next point is energy consumption. So energy consumption also very very important, because ஒரு half an hourலயே உனக்கு பேட்டரி போயிடுச்சுன்னா என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? It's a drawback of the system. Okay va, at least we can use 6 to 7 hours use பண்ணாதான் நமக்கு it is easy for us. இல்லனா நம்ம சார்ஜ் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணும். So energy consumption also we need. Okay, then spectrum usage. Spectrum usage means bandwidth. Spectrum nale the group of frequencies, that means a bandwidth. Okay, then direction of transmission. Okay, it's a forward or reverse or broad wave, one to one, one to many, many to one, multicast, broadcast. So idellame we need. Then service quality. Quality எப்படி இருக்கு, நல்லா இருக்கா இல்லையா, is accuracy, reliability. So these includes in the service quality. So these parameters can decide the service requirement. So இந்த parameterக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி we can choose the service. நமக்கு என்ன சர்வீஸ் வேணும், ஷார்ட் ரேஞ்ச் தேவையா, லாங் ரேஞ்ச் தேவையா, மீடியம் ரேஞ்ச்னா இந்த சர்வீஸை யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இப்போ நமக்கு ஷார்ட் ரேஞ்ச் எனக்கு வந்து டேட்டா ரேட் இவ்வளவு போதும். ஓகேவா, ஸோ அப்படின்னா நான் என்ன பண்றேன், இட்ஸ் லெஸ் டேட்டா ரேட்டு, ரேஞ்சும் எனக்கு வந்து வெரி ஸ்மால் அப்படின்னா நான் WPAN சூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ டிபெண்டிங் அப்பான் தீஸ் ரெக்யர்மெண்ட்ஸ் we can choose the service, we can use the services in the wireless communication. Okay, so these are the topics we studied in this class. Okay,